What's the reason to choose Int in Elden Ring? Well, whatever is under the hat, of course. And if you've been rocking the bandana hat, you know that your entire kit is broken. Maybe you should even feel bad for using it, Burger King. Elden Ring PvP is a game of extremes, and I've got a lot of love and loathing for one of the most overused and underexplored aspects of the game: spells, specifically sorceries. Sorceries are one of the most commonly discussed issues of balance in Elden Ring PvP. In patch 1.10, poise changes and the nerfing of barrier gold put sorceries into a new category of overpowered. The favorite tool of ganks has long been one of the most intriguing aspects of the game to me. While I always prefer melee fighting and have put my slicer spamming days far behind me when the Carrion Deli closed last December, spells are something in Elden Ring that demand to be examined, not only by the players, but by the developers themselves. Why is it that even though we have all these spells, in most combat situations, we only ever see a few favorites? Something like Gavel of Haima may not be considered meta, but it's very possible that it's too good. And then there are others, little cast conjurations like Crystal Burst, Magic Downpour, and so forth. And there are whole schools of sorcery that are underexplored in the game. Is that because they are terrible and not worth using? In many cases, that may be true, but there are many others that have use cases with very high ceilings. But the spells that are commonly used? Well, it goes without saying they are too good. If you have ever come up against a 3-person gank with 2 comet spammers, you know that game won't be very interesting, or very long. Spells shouldn't do this. They shouldn't have the type of damage, free cast stability, and tracking that they do. And they definitely should not do this. Infinite stun lock by pew pews is the very definition of unfun. Magic users have long been the clowns of Elden Ring, both for better and worse, and while we can all appreciate the value of a clown, we know there's a big difference between Bozo and Sweet Tooth. So how can we approach this as players? And how should From Software approach this as developers? To answer the first question, I think the answer is to keep experimenting, dive deeper into the spells that you are interested in using, and try something you haven't before. The only risk is dying, and in Elden Ring, that's a pretty frequent occurrence. Spells and Ashes of War combo very well in some instances, and exploring the vast number of permutations of these mix-up options is an in-depth and endlessly nerdy part of the game. I've been having a great time trying a few brand new things out on this low-level invader. Underused spells like Shattering Crystal, Night Maiden's Mist, Rock Blaster, etc. Some of these are viable, some of them are situational, and some of them are just goofy. That's not to say that you shouldn't have your standbys. Options like Carrion Piercer, Cannon of Haima, Gavel of Haima, and Adula's Moonblade, all while arguably imbalanced in some ways, are all strong options for both low-level and meta-level characters if you want to add in ranged and melee mix-ups with your weapon moveset. The bottom line for players is that there are so many ways to play this game, and using sorceries and/or incantation gives you a massive multiplier on opportunities for combos, memes, and fun. For the developers, the question might be a bit tougher. How then can From Software approach the issue of spells in the game? First of all, mark my words, there will be broken and untuned spells in the DLC. Even if FromSoft does test everything, the track record for first patch balance success for them is not stellar. But in addition to that, they need to continue to tune the fundamental ways spells work in the game to ensure long-term game balance and the enjoyability of PvP. Some people might think that balancing spells to do less poise damage, cost more FP, and deal less damage overall just makes invaders stronger. And while that might be true in the abstract, along with infinite hit-stun combos and over-leveled phantom scaling, spell spamming in ganks is one of the largest issues in the game in terms of overall invasion balance. There have been a lot of solutions suggested for some of these issues. Decreasing the poise damage on smaller spells, making spells cost more FP, making them cost more FP with each cast, making them cost more stamina, turning down the damage, decreasing tracking, rebuffing Barrier of Gold slightly, increasing the time it takes to continually cast spells, or some combination of all of the above are very realistic, achievable, and fair balance approaches to the issues of spell spamming. In the meantime, there may not be that many options in-game to mitigate this issue, but they exist. Magic Fortification is still alright because of the low stat requirements, spellproof livers are easy to craft, and there's still reliable moves like Carrion Retaliation or even Eternal Darkness if you're on a sorcery build yourself. If you really don't want to get stunned or damaged by spells, I suggest the Leaden Hard tier and Crimson War Bubble tier. Neither lasts long, but rushing into a gank that can barely damage and can't stun you opens up some interesting opportunities for aggression that can reliably counter groups of mages. The concerns are real. Many people have exiled from the invasion system because of the unfairness of spells and ganks. Those of us who just want to play around with the crazy, funny tools that the game gives us are waiting for a balance between the innovative ideas in the spell system of Elden Ring and a common sense approach to the costs of using that system. Thanks for watching to this point. I'm putting together a new build video for this invader now. Like and subscribe for more Elden Ring PvP content, and don't forget to hit the bell.